As the sun sank beneath the horizon, casting a warm glow of orange and purple across the sky, I gazed out the window, my mind adrift in contemplation. Once upon a time, there was a woman named Sloane, whose life unfolded like a familiar tale of everyday existence. In the world of social media management, my days unfold like a whirlwind, a blend of routine and unpredictability, where the constant hum of notifications and the swift currents of online trends create a vibrant tapestry of experiences. My husband Cassian, a software engineer, and I have woven a life together that many would admire. For 5 wonderful years, our journey together has been a beautiful narrative woven with patience and understanding. And then there's Rook, our golden retriever, whose boundless energy and unwavering loyalty weave the fabric of our cherished family. In the midst of suburbia, our home stood as a cherished refuge. Each evening, Cassian and I would relax, recounting the events of our day frequently with Rook, lounging across our laps, his tail thumping steadily against the couch. Our passion for sports united us as we found ourselves in the stands, our voices blending into the thunderous cheer of the crowd. With an infectious enthusiasm, Rook was always ready to participate, transforming each outing into a memorable family escapade. As I lingered in that dimly lit space, the shadows stretching and dancing around me, an unsettling sensation gnawed at my thoughts, whispering that all was not as it seemed. It began as a faint murmur, a gentle nudge in the recesses of my thoughts, steadily amplifying with the passage of time. Once upon a time, life in all its expected ways decided to surprise me with an unexpected twist, one that would challenge the core of our reality. It all started with Cassian. He began arriving home later than before, his reasons unclear, his attitude aloof. Initially, I attributed it to the pressures of my job, a common affliction for those in the tech industry. Yet there were those moments when he'd step outside for phone calls, his voice barely above a whisper, urgency lacing his words, while the screen of his phone remained turned away from my view. My heart, once calm and confident, started to pound with doubt. One evening, as I sat with Rook, his head resting on my lap, I felt a surge of determination to face Cassian. The atmosphere was charged with unspoken words as I inquired, "Is there something you're keeping from me?" His response was a faint grin, the expression of someone who had been discovered, yet was not prepared to reveal the truth. He spoke of a project shrouded in mystery, one that held the potential to transform our existence. Yet the manner in which he spoke, coupled with the way his gaze shifted, revealed that there was something deeper beneath the surface. As time flowed on, the weeks stretched out, and the gap between us widened. It began with subtle signs like a fresh password on his laptop, an unexpected focus on privacy, and the peculiar habit of stepping out whenever his phone buzzed. Visions swirled in my head, each one darker and more disturbing than the previous. Did he find himself entangled in something unlawful? Could it be that he was involved with someone else? The inquiries linger in the air, transforming our once serene abode into a backdrop for my escalating unease. It was on that fateful night when everything took a turn. On that day, Cassian moved with an air of mystery, slipping out before dawn, and only reappearing when the stars began to twinkle. The night stretched on the silence of the house, only broken by the gentle sound of Rook's soft snoring. As Cassian stepped through the threshold, his complexion was ashen, and his eyes were filled with a haunting intensity that spoke of deep-seated dread. He settled into the chair across from me, his hands shaking slightly as he began to share his tale. "Sloane, I've been crafting a tale, a significant one, but it's not what you imagine." He started, his voice soft and hesitant. "Some individuals with influence have come into my life, weaving a complex web that I find difficult to escape. as I felt the weight of despair settle in my heart, plummeted. What we had created together, the bond we had carefully cultivated, appeared to disintegrate right in front of me. Cassian pressed on unveiling fragments of a narrative that seemed more suited for a gripping thriller than our tranquil suburban existence. He recounted tales of hidden communications, secret gatherings, and an initiative that held the power to elevate us or lead to our downfall. As he spoke, his words enveloped me, casting a thick veil of emotion that lingered in the air. This was more than a simple late-night endeavor or a clandestine task. This was a tale of our safety, our future, and the very essence of the life we had known. The man I cherished, the father of our dear Rook, found himself entangled in a web of shadows and peril. As the night wore on, with the distant hum of the city blending into the background and Rook's soft breathing filling the air, it struck me that our life, which had once been a portrait of suburban happiness, had transformed into a tapestry woven with shadows and hidden truths. What event could disrupt the stability of my seemingly flawless existence? The revelation as it unfolded was darker and more chilling than I had ever anticipated. On a Saturday like any other, the sun shone perfectly and the air carried a refreshing autumn-like crispness. Cassian and I made the exciting choice to bring Rook along to the stadium for a thrilling college football game. The atmosphere crackled with excitement as the crowd roared, the music filled the space, and the aroma of hot dogs wafted through the air. As the game concluded and the crowd began to scatter, we stayed behind, savoring the warmth of our triumph. As Cassian flitted from one group of friends to another, I found myself alongside Rook, venturing into the more serene corners of the stadium, where the buzz of excitement faded into a gentle hum. As we roamed, I stumbled upon a hidden corner, the clamor of the crowd gradually dissolving into a faint echo. Rook, ever the inquisitive one, was exploring his surroundings, while I settled onto a bench, my mind wandering through reflections on life, love, and what lies ahead. In that serene moment, hidden truths lingered softly murmuring through the swaying branches and the calming wind. As I observed Rook, his tail wagging with excitement during his exploration, I found myself reflecting on the transformations that have unfolded in our lives. The stadium, nearly deserted, mirrored the essence of our bond, which had once thrived on the vibrant cheers of joy, now resonating with the quiet of doubt. As I reminisced, I found myself transported to that fateful night when Cassian unveiled his hidden ties to a clandestine affair, a revelation that held the power to either unite us or tear us apart. The gravity of his speech, the trepidation reflected in his gaze, it all flooded back to me. In this serene nook of the stadium, I sensed the solitude of our predicament. Rook came back to me gently, pressing his head against my hand, seeking a comforting pat. His presence enveloped me in warmth, a gentle echo of the life we had crafted side by side, a life that now seemed to sway precariously on the brink of an uncertain future. As I rose to my feet, I stretched my legs and took a leisurely stroll around the vacant stands. With every step, the weight of Cassian's secret grew pressing down on him like an anchor. What was his involvement? Who were these individuals of influence he referred to? In the depths of my thoughts, a cascade of inquiries emerged, each one more intimidating than the previous. The sky above transformed into a twilight canvas hues merging into a somber palette that reflected my feelings. I paused at the boundary of the field, gazing into the expansive void, a stark contrast to the vibrant cheers that had filled the air just hours before. In this quiet moment, I came to understand the depth of my solitude amidst the challenges I faced. Cassian stood beside me, yet his mind wandered far beyond our surroundings, immersed in a realm he had yet to reveal. Rook settled next to me, his eyes tracking where I was looking. His loyalty stood firm, a vivid contrast to the ever-changing landscape of my relationship with Cassian. As I knelt down, I enveloped him in my embrace, savoring the warmth radiating from him, his heartbeat, a steady rhythm that matched my own. In the stillness, a train whistle echoed from afar, a poignant reminder of life's relentless march, unaware of the chaos swirling within me. I leaned in close to Rook and asked, "What are we going to do?" The question lingered, a silent challenge waiting for a response that eluded me. As the final rays of sunlight slipped away, I knew it was time to make my way home. Cassian continued to talk, blissfully ignorant of the turmoil swirling within me. As I reached out to Rook, we set off together, retracing our steps to find Cassian waiting for us. As we approached, the joyful sounds of laughter and lively conversation enveloped us, creating a vivid contrast to the serene solitude I had just encountered. As I approached Cassian, I found him in a moment of joy, sharing laughter with his friends, his face aglow under the bright stadium lights. He gazed at me, his smile wavering just a bit as he noticed my expression. "Is everything all right?" he inquired, a hint of worry lacing his tone. I gave a silent nod, feeling the weight of my thoughts too heavy to voice. The mysteries of that hushed instant at the stadium remained unanswered, much like the final chords of a melody dissolving into stillness. As we collected our belongings and made our way to the car, an overwhelming sense of uncertainty loomed over me, heavy and palpable. What mysteries lie within this serene instant? I pondered, aware that the revelations could alter the course of everything. In the quiet embrace of the stadium, an unforeseen event unfolded. With a burst of energy, Rook leaped onto the bench beside me, his tail wagging with excitement. With a chuckle, I gently stroked him. In a fleeting instance of strange bewilderment and solitude, I found myself clinging to Rook. Holding him tightly, as if his warmth alone could silence the chaos in my mind, but a lingering, fervent embrace. The realization of my actions washed over me like a chilling tide, yet rather than retreating, I felt myself being pulled deeper into a whirlwind of feelings and impulses that were beyond my grasp. In a whirlwind of emotions and a desperate need for comfort, I realized I had relied on Rook in ways I hadn't before, emotionally, not rationally. Coming to terms with how far I had emotionally spiraled during that moment left me in a deep sense of disbelief and regret. My thoughts spun wildly, grappling with the sting of betrayal not only towards Cassian, but also against the core of my own identity. What path will Sloane choose after stepping over a boundary she never thought she would? As I lingered in my seat, the stadium lights began to fade, casting shadows over the vacant stands, mirroring the void I carried within. The air was crisp, yet an unsettling heat coursed through me, a mix of remorse and uncertainty. As I gazed down at Rook, now resting beside me with his head nestled in my lap, his eyes met mine, radiating a purity that deepened the ache in my heart. It was clear to me that I had to escape to distance myself from this location that now harbored a secret so profound it loomed over me like a shadow ready to engulf my very being. I rose to my feet, my legs trembling, and beckoned Rook to come along. As we made our way back, Cassian was lost in conversation with his friends, their laughter ringing out like a joyful melody, completely at odds with the storm brewing inside me. As we drew near, Cassian pivoted, his face brightening with a smile that swiftly dimmed upon catching sight of my expression. "Is everything all right?" he inquired, his voice laced with worry. I nodded, silence enveloping me, the burden of my choices bearing down on me as if it were a tangible weight. We collected our belongings, and as we made our way to the car, I sensed the growing distance between us. The mysteries of that still moment at the stadium hung in the air, unanswered, much like the final chords of a melody drifting away into quietude. The journey back was quiet, with only the soft purr of the engine and Rook's occasional sigh breaking the stillness in the car. In the depths of my mind a tempest raged, with each thought crashing down like thunder more unforgiving than the one before. How could I confront Cassian? How could I confront my own reflection? Upon arriving home, I made my way directly to our bedroom, gently shutting the door behind me. In that moment, I found myself yearning for a pause, a chance to reflect on the events that had unfolded. As I reclined on the bed, my gaze fixed on the ceiling, the moments unfolded in my mind like a movie on an endless loop. The weight of guilt pressed heavily upon me, yet intertwined with it was a whisper of an unidentifiable feeling, elusive and mysterious. As Cassian entered, his steps whispered against the carpet, a gentle arrival that hinted at the unfolding tale ahead. Sloane. "Are you really okay?" he inquired softly, oblivious to the turmoil brewing within me. I just need some time alone," I managed to say, my voice barely rising above a whisper, as if the weight of my words could shift the air around me. He nodded, a gesture of comprehension, or maybe mere acquiescence, and departed, leaving me in my quietude. The night unfolded slowly, every passing minute dragging on endlessly. Rest eluded me as I lay there, unable to shut my eyes without the haunting image of Rook's face surfacing, his unwavering loyalty starkly contrasting with the weight of my betrayal. The affection I held for Cassian, the world we had created together, seemed to be fading away, overshadowed by an unfamiliar darkness that enveloped me. As dawn broke, the brightness seemed overwhelming, exposing everything in its path. I rose from my slumber, my actions feeling robotic, and proceeded through my daily rituals, yet an unsettling shadow lingered over everything. Every time I caught Rook's eye, a wave of shame washed over me, while Cassian's gaze felt like it was digging deep into the heart of my hidden truth. It was clear to me that I needed to face this moment to come to terms with my actions, but the question lingered. How would I do it? The idea of revealing my feelings to Cassian felt like a heavy weight on my chest. The dread of potentially losing him, of shattering the bond we shared, left me frozen in place. However, the option of carrying this secret was just as intolerable. As I stepped outside with Rook, the crisp air wrapped around us, offering a moment of clarity amidst the chaos of my thoughts. As we strolled along, I attempted to immerse myself in the ordinary, the sound of leaves crunching beneath our feet, the refreshing breeze brushing against my skin. But my thoughts continually drifted back to the stadium. Rook, aware of my unease, remained by my side, offering a quiet reassurance. I sank onto a park bench, the weight of my thoughts pulling me down as I tried to untangle the chaos in my mind. What had led me to that moment of sheer insanity? Was it the solitude, the dread of losing Cassian, or something more profound, more sinister lurking inside me? In that moment I realized I was searching for a guiding light, a voice to share my thoughts with. Yet I found myself pondering the question, who could that be? Is it a therapist? Once upon a time there was a companion. Sharing this with anyone felt like unveiling a deep, painful scar, still fresh and aching. In that moment of stillness, a choice started to take shape within me. I would pursue guidance from a professional, not merely for the action taken, but to address the deeper concerns that had brought me to that point. It was a struggle to move forward, ensnared in a web of remorse and uncertainty. As I made my way home, the pace was deliberate, each footfall a promise to embrace transformation, to confront the aftermath of my choices. As I stepped back inside, I spotted Cassian in the kitchen, his back turned to me while he busied himself with the coffee maker. "Cassian," I began, my voice trembling, "I have a significant matter to discuss with you." He turned, his face etched with worry. "What's going on, Sloane?" I inhaled deeply, feeling the weight of the words lodged in my throat. "I've been facing a challenge lately, and I believe it's time for me to reach out to a professional for help. It's a tale of us, a narrative of me, a journey through everything." His expression became gentle, and he moved nearer, grasping my hands in his. "Whatever it is, we will confront it side by side," he declared, his voice a powerful force calming my anxious heart. "Yet, is it possible for us? Could we genuinely confront this as a united front when I was the one who had wandered so far from the journey we once shared?" The unasked question lingered in the air, and I nodded, feeling a mix of gratitude for his support and a deep-seated fear of the unknown that awaited us. The days that came after the incident felt like a whirlwind. Every time my gaze fell upon Cassian, a tide of guilt and shame washed over me. My encounters with Rook were complex, woven with threads of both warmth and aversion. As time went on, I found myself pulling away. My updates on social media dwindled, and the quality of my work began to decline. Cassian sensed the shift, inquiring if all was well, but how could I share the truth with him? One evening, while we were engrossed in a TV show, Cassian brought up a curious observation about Rook, noting that he had been acting differently, less playful than usual. My heart raced, a whirlwind of anxiety coursing through me, worried he might catch on to what was really happening. Yet his worry stemmed solely from the deep affection he held for our beloved pet. He remained oblivious to the reality, the shadowy secret that had taken residence in our household. As time went on, I felt a growing sense of solitude despite being surrounded by others in our common area. The quiet stretched between us filled not only with his hidden truths, but now with my own as well. Whenever my gaze fell upon Rook, memories of that pivotal moment at the stadium flooded back, a moment that transformed everything. Cassian, unaware of the storm brewing inside me, kept unfolding details of his project, his voice a blend of enthusiasm and careful consideration. "It's going to be monumental, Sloane," he would exclaim, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Yet all that filled my vision was the dark silhouette of my own treachery, the burden of my hidden truth bearing heavily upon me. A wave of conflicting emotions washed over me as I began to distance myself from Rook, grappling with both revulsion and a deep sense of sadness. The routine that once brought me solace with him now seemed overshadowed by an unsettling feeling. As I walked him, each step felt burdensome, my thoughts drifting to that moment, a loop in my mind that I couldn't escape. In the midst of my workday distractions, swirled around me, breaking my concentration. There I was, seated at my desk, gazing at the screen, my fingers poised above the keyboard, yet unable to bring myself to type a single word. My colleagues observed my demeanor, inquiring if I was unwell or feeling overwhelmed. I offered a faint smile, whispering something about fatigue, yet the reality was much deeper than that. As darkness fell, the weight of the world seemed to press down harder. As I lay in bed beside Cassian, a sense of being an imposter in my own life washed over me. His breathing, steady and calm, painted a vivid picture against the tempest raging within me. I would feign slumber, turning my back, yet rest remained just out of reach, driven away by the weight of my remorse. It became clear that I needed to face the shadows lurking inside me. The idea of therapy started to resonate with me, not merely for the process, but for the deeper struggles that had brought me to this point. In that moment of reflection, I found myself grappling with the reasons behind my choices, questioning the very essence of my actions that led me to betray not only Cassian, but also my own principles. One morning, following yet another restless night, I came to a realization. I would reach out for assistance. The weight of the hidden truth became unbearable, a constant presence that dimmed my existence. I reached out to a therapist, securing a spot for the soonest available session. Taking that proactive step felt like a tiny triumph, a move towards regaining my peace of mind. Cassian, picking up on my discomfort, made an effort to connect. "Sloan, there seems to be a distance between us lately. Is this related to the project?" "I understand it's been a tough time," he remarked one evening, his voice laced with empathy. I shook my head, my voice trapped within me. It wasn't merely that I found the words to express my voice a mere breath. It's truly remarkable. He gazed into my eyes, seeking the answers I wasn't prepared to reveal. "Whatever it may be, we will confront it side by side," he comforted, his hand extending towards mine. Yet is it possible for us? Could we genuinely confront this as a united front, when I was the one who had wandered so far from the journey we once shared? Silence enveloped us, the unasked question lingering in the air. I nodded, feeling a mix of gratitude for his presence and a deep-seated fear of the unknown that awaited us. As the sun rose and set, I found myself locked in a struggle with my own thoughts, each day unfolding like a chapter in a gripping tale. Once upon a time, I embarked on a journey of journaling, seeking to unravel the tangled web of my emotions and discover a glimmer of clarity amidst the swirling chaos. Every entry unfolded like a narrative, revealing layers of my own psyche with each revelation. Rook, aware of my turmoil, would frequently settle next to me, resting his head on my lap, his gaze fixed on me with a purity that deepened my sorrow. As I gently ran my fingers through his soft fur, I found myself murmuring words of regret that he would never grasp, yearning for absolution from a being untouched by the intricate web of human emotions that ensnared me. As the week of my therapy appointment drew near, my anxiety reached its highest point. What should I share? How can I express the profound sense of betrayal, the swirling confusion, and the deep loneliness that led me to that pivotal moment? As the clock ticked away the hours, I found myself restless in the stillness of the night, the only sound breaking the quiet being the soft, far-off buzz of the refrigerator. As I lay there, Cassian's serene face was a stark contrast to the turmoil brewing inside me, his slumber untouched by the chaos that raged within my heart. I observed him, sensing the gulf between us deepen with each inhale he made. As dawn broke, I selected my attire with intention, each piece feeling like a protective shield against the raw emotions I was preparing to unveil. As Cassian leaned in to kiss me goodbye, his touch was soft, and his words wrapped around me like a warm embrace, filling me with hope and encouragement. "You'll feel better after talking to someone," he said, unaware of the profound longing I had for this exchange. The journey to the therapist's office felt like a whirlwind, my thoughts swirling with possibilities, each one more intimidating than the previous. What if she formed an opinion about me? What if she was unable to assist? Yet the urge to release my burdens and seek a hint of tranquility pushed me onward. As I sat in the waiting room, a wave of nervous energy coursed through me, my palms slick with sweat and my heart racing in my chest. As my name echoed through the room, I rose to my feet, my legs trembling, and stepped into the therapist's office behind her. Once upon a time, there was a room that exuded tranquility. It welcomed all who entered with its gentle glow and the soothing aroma of lavender that danced in the air. Share with me what has led you to this moment today. Sloane. She began, her voice gentle in warm, encouraging openness. I inhaled deeply, feeling the weight of the words lodged in my throat. I embarked on a journey, one that revealed a side of me I never knew existed. I began the truth flowing forth as if a barrier had shattered under the weight of overwhelming emotion. As I recounted the events at the stadium, the therapist absorbed every word, her face reflecting empathy rather than criticism. Every word resonated like a stride towards salvation, an opportunity to restore my essence from the depths of my choices. The session concluded, yet it marked the start of something new. I departed with assignments in hand, ready to ponder, to compose, to grasp the essence of it all. The journey stretched on each step, heavy with struggle, yet amidst the shadows a flicker of hope emerged. It whispered of healing not solely for myself, but for the life intertwined with Cassian and Rook. The secret lingered, but it was no longer confined. It was now a part of me, shared not only with the therapist, but also with my own heart. It was as if the weight had been lifted, and I found companionship in the experience. The path stretched out before me, shrouded in mystery, yet I pressed on one foot in front of the other in search of a truth that resonated within me, a life where love, trust, and understanding could bloom anew. It was during a dinner party we hosted that the unexpected climax unfolded. Amidst the joy of friends and the sound of laughter echoing through our home, I found myself battling a tempest of feelings within. As the evening unfolded, Cassian, with a playful spirit, remarked that Rook was the sole one who hadn't experienced a raucous night at the stadium. The atmosphere was filled with joy and mirth, yet for me it felt like a heavy blow to the stomach. Overwhelmed by the burden of my hidden truth, I quietly slipped away, retreated to our bedroom, and let my emotions spill forth. With a furrowed brow, Cassian trailed behind, worry etched on his face. With a heart full of emotion, I laid bare my soul, bracing for the storm of rage, revulsion, or the end of our journey together. Instead, Cassian absorbed the words, his expression a blend of bewilderment and pain. What I did was beyond imagination, Cassian. I began, my voice quivering. In the vibrant atmosphere of the stadium, surrounded by the buzz of excitement, I found myself immersed in a moment with friends where the energy was palpable and stories were waiting to unfold. I found myself in the company of Rook and I. I leaned into him, tears falling, seeking a comfort that couldn't truly be found in silence or touch. It wasn't romantic, just an emotional overflow I couldn't control. In a moment of deep uncertainty, I found myself wandering through a fog of confusion, feeling utterly disconnected from you and the world around me. Cassian's eyes grew large, and he found himself momentarily breathless. "Sloane, what do you mean by that?" His voice floated softly, a fragile echo of the suffering he bore. "I deeply regret what happened, Cassian. There's a heavy weight. I carry a burden of guilt and shame that lingers in my heart. I found myself at a loss for words, unsure of how to approach you, how to confront the situation. I pressed on my thoughts, pouring forth like an unstoppable torrent. I've been visiting a therapist to explore the reasons behind my actions, to confront the loneliness and the fear of losing you." He sank onto the bed, his hands falling over his face in a moment of despair. I'm at a loss for words, Sloane. What unfolds here surpasses all my wildest dreams." His voice trembled, the pain unmistakable. I understood, I murmured, sensing the gap between us grow deeper. I've been on a journey to make sense of it all. The focus shifted away from Rook and turned inward, revealing my own fears and the deep sense of isolation I felt. Fear has gripped me, a haunting worry, that I might lose you, that our world could unravel due to your endeavors, your hidden truths. Cassian's gaze met mine, a silent quest unfolding between us, as if he were seeking the truth, or perhaps just a fleeting reflection of the woman he once vowed to love. I've found myself deeply immersed in my own experiences. I was unaware of the distance I was creating between us. I believed that by shielding you from it, I was doing what was best for you. But you weren't. I declared, my voice steady and resolute. In the shadows you cast, I stumbled, and in that obscurity I faltered, committing a grave error. I seek your guidance to navigate through this and find my way to healing. He rose to his feet, moving restlessly around the room, thoughts swirling in his head. I'm going to need a little space, Sloane. This is a tale that unfolds with intrigue and wonder, inviting you to immerse yourself in its narrative. Each moment is crafted with care, revealing the depths of characters and the twists of fate that shape their journeys. As the plot thickens, you'll find yourself drawn into a world where every detail matters, and the essence of the story comes alive with each turn of the page. There's quite a bit to unravel here. His voice echoed from afar, the familiar warmth now overshadowed by a chilling doubt. I nodded, absorbing the gravity of what he had just shared. I will provide you with the room to breathe. But please understand that I am dedicated to mending this, to mending our bond. As the room embraced a hush, the gentle ticking of the clock on the wall echoed a reminder of the moments slipping away in our broken existence. Cassian finally exited the room. His footsteps weighed down with a sense of finality, leaving me to grapple with my swirling thoughts and the lingering remnants of our broken trust. The days that followed were filled with tension. Cassian had become a shadow of his former self, his warmth giving way to a careful reserve that felt foreign to those who knew him well. As I embarked on my journey through therapy, I found myself exploring the intricate layers of my mind, seeking to uncover the origins of my behaviors. Every session unfolded like a chapter in a journey toward self-forgiveness, yet the road leading back to Cassian appeared laden with challenges. One evening, as we gathered in the living room, the stillness surrounding us felt almost palpable. Rook rested at my feet, his head nestled in my lap, a quiet testament to the weight of my betrayal. At last, Cassian shattered the stillness that hung in the air. He started, his voice low, reflecting on the words you shared with him. Honestly, Sloane, it's quite challenging. Yet my heart is filled with love for you, and I trust your words when you describe it as a fleeting moment of confusion and desperation. As I stood there, emotions surged within me, a bittersweet blend of relief and lingering hurt. My heart echoes your feelings, Cassian. Above all else, my deepest desire is to restore what has been taken from us. With a slight nod, he kept his eyes glued to the ground beneath him. I've kept my project under wraps, believing it was the right choice, but I realize now how that choice has caused us pain. I wish to share more with you, to open up about what I can offer. Perhaps united we can navigate our way through this journey. As the words flowed between them, a new chapter unfolded, marked by tentative strides toward healing and understanding. We decided to embark on a journey together, seeking guidance to enhance our understanding and strengthen the bond of trust between us. It wasn't merely my error, it was the widening chasm that had developed between us, the hidden truths that had lingered and grown. As the days unfolded, we gradually wove together the threads of our bond once more. Cassian started to unfold the narrative of his project, revealing the challenges he faced and the individuals he interacted with. Once upon a time, there existed a fascinating realm of technology, one that held the promise to transform the very fabric of data privacy. Yet lurking within its brilliance were shadows of ethical quandaries and the specter of unforeseen dangers. Our therapy sessions transformed into a refuge, a space where we could face our fears, acknowledge our mistakes, and nurture our hopes. Once upon a time, a wise therapist led us on a journey filled with exercises designed to mend the bonds of trust, foster meaningful communication, and explore the intricate emotional terrains of one another. Rook, always the devoted friend, appeared to feel the change in our household. His playful spirit re-emerged, transforming him into our connection, a symbol of the affection we held not only for one another, but for our family as well. The peak of our tale wasn't solely centered on my revelation. It revolved around the consequences and the path we took to reconnect. It was a journey of realizing that love encompasses not only the joyful moments, but also the challenges, the missteps, and the grace of letting go. In those serene moments as we lingered side by side, observing the life unfolding beyond our window, I came to understand that our bond, despite the challenges it faced, remained steadfast. We embarked on a journey of transformation, not only mending our bond, but also rediscovering who we were, bit by bit, embracing truth, nurturing patience, and fostering a deepened dedication to one another. As we ventured forth, the road ahead was shrouded in mystery, yet we pressed on side by side, fingers intertwined with Rook accompanying us, embodying the timeless strength of affection and the hope for a fresh start. What unfolded was nothing short of transformative. After a time of quiet contemplation, Cassian concluded that we should seek therapy, both for ourselves and as a couple. The sessions unfolded with intensity, marked by emotional outbursts, heartfelt apologies, and earnest efforts to grasp one another's perspectives. Our marriage faced challenges yet. Amid the trials, we discovered a deeper connection rooted in honesty and communication. In the midst of all the human turmoil, Rook stood by us, a steadfast presence, his affection unwavering and pure. As the days passed, I discovered the power of self-forgiveness, realizing that my choices were not just mistakes, but rather a plea for understanding, a reflection of the struggles within. The therapy sessions transformed into a safe haven, a place where we could face our fears, acknowledge our mistakes, and nurture our hopes. Once upon a time, a wise therapist led us on a journey filled with exercises designed to mend the bonds of trust, foster meaningful communication, and explore the depths of our emotional worlds. One evening, as we gathered in the living room, the stillness enveloping us felt almost palpable. Rook rested at my feet, his head nestled in my lap, a quiet testament to the weight of my betrayal. This file exceeds a duration of 30 minutes.